Today marks the end of daylight savings, meaning that somehow an hour from daytime now gets reserved for nighttime. Don't ask me how that works. I'm not entirely sure. I think the reason why is that farmers needed more time to plant and harvest crops and stuff. But now that it's winter, that stuff wouldn't grow, so that hour gets put back into nighttime. Although apparently even farmers don't like daylight savings times. But hey, at least it's over now. For a few months at least. It's pretty ironic that the day we add an extra hour to nighttime is a Sunday. Although it kind of also makes sense because you now get an entire week of school or work to test out this new schedule. Say, wait a minute, extra time to sleep during the winter. Maybe it wasn't actually a farmer, but a stack of squirrels that looked like a farmer that proposed the idea of daylight savings. I mean, after all, they're going to be spending all this time hibernating. So, to minimize the time wasted, it would make sense to add an extra hour to the time of the day where you don't get anything done, the night. You know what? I'm always so focused on that stupid hibernating thing. Hey Jelly, next time I mention hibernating, I want you to hit me with a pole. While you're asleep, nothing isn't happening. Your body is actually repairing itself and sorting memories and stuff. That's why people who don't sleep often aren't very healthy, because their body hasn't had time to organize itself and stuff. In media, a common way that people fall asleep is by counting sheep, which is not necessarily a thing I understand. First of all, it seems that, in every instance of this happening, they're always counting sheep jumping over a fence, even though in no way does counting sheep imply that they're jumping over a fence. Where did that come from? Why are these sheep jumping over a fence? What's on the other side of the fence? We'll never know. Wouldn't it make more sense to just be counting a field of stationary sheep? That seems a lot more boring and would put someone to sleep faster. This has been Billy Nacho's Rant, and I hope you enjoyed. I'm very disappointed in people right now. I mean, look at all this trash laying on the side of the road. You watching at home can't see because this camera doesn't pivot, but trust me, there's a lot. Look at this. A pair of scissors just on the side of the road, abandoned by whoever used them. This is a health hazard, people. Someone could have stepped on this. Just look at these sharp blades, ready to pop a tire or puncture an artery, whichever comes first. Oh, look, this scissors has something written on it. Antimicrobial, it has engraved in the handle. Definitely not a word I've ever heard before. But using the power of breaking it down, I can determine its meaning. Anti means it's against something. Micro means small, and bile generally means some sort of toxic or infectious substance. It seems we've found some sort of magical anti-disease scissors. I'm not sure how it does it, but somehow this pair of scissors deters small bacteria. Maybe the substance of the handle and blade are too slippery or not conductive enough that bacteria can stick to it. Or maybe there's some sort of aura emanated by an inside part that protects this tool from disease. Either way, it's a pretty cool find. It's amazing what science can do when you abandon it on the street. Anyway, it's important that you pick up trash and put it in a trash can when you're done using it, or a recycle bin if it's a recyclable thing. There, that gets the moral lesson out of the way. Not that there's usually a lesson in these rants. Right now, I think I'm going to bring these scissors back to my house, just to try to find out what makes them antimicrobial. I'm sure I'll have an answer for you by tomorrow. As for now, this has been Billy Nacho's Rant, and I hope you enjoyed. Good news, Jelly. I just found out what antimicrobial means. Turns out I was right. Antimicrobial refers to a surface that is difficult for microorganisms to exist on, usually through some sort of special coating. Some art supplies, like scissors, are often made antimicrobial so that when little kids pass them around to each other, they don't get each other sick with whatever they rubbed all over it. As you know, little kids haven't learned how to sanitize stuff correctly. That's why you don't see many little kid health inspectors. Anyway, I don't remember what I had planned for tonight. It's November, so probably something about hibernation, but I think I've already talked about that before.
Welcome. You owe me for this one. I'll do it anytime. Remember a few days ago when he said if you brought up hibernation again, that he wanted someone to hit him with a pole? Well, I got the nearest pole and delivered on that promise. A thing you couldn't do, thus making me a better friend than you. I'll wait to receive my payment. Alright, come on, lady. I don't have all night. I have superhero things to do. Like, for instance, over there. Someone stole that pole. I gotta go replace that pole now. See, that's how things work. If someone steals a pole, you gotta replace the pole. Even if you never found out who stole the pole. Gee, you're making me out to be the bad guy. Anyway, you should probably get in touch with the nearest hospital, because that pole was pretty heavy. See ya. Have a nice night.
In case you haven't noticed by now, I'm a squirrel. And squirrels don't wear clothes outside of formal occasions. It's not because I don't understand the use of clothes. It's just that I'm a squirrel. However, there is one article of clothing that I don't understand. Vests. A vest is just a sleeveless coat. So I guess you'd wear a vest if it's cold out, but not cold enough that your arms would get cold. Only cold enough that your body would get cold. Oh, that's cool. How often does that happen? Never. That's the answer. Never have I gone outside and had my body be colder than my arms. It just doesn't happen. Because of the fact that your heart is constantly pumping blood around, it's creating a lot of kinetic motion and stuff. And motion is what keeps you warm. So, obviously, your body is going to be a lot warmer than the rest of you. However, there are other variations of vests, most of which are pretty useful. Like, for example, a life vest, which is a vest that prevents you from drowning by being buoyant and pushing you up. Useful for keeping people alive, as well as more practical than wearing a life preserver as a necklace. Another interesting kind of vest is a bulletproof vest. As the name implies, bulletproof vests are designed to stop bullets. Obviously, if someone is shooting you, you don't have time to change into a bulletproof vest. That's why if someone's wearing one, you should probably stay away from them because they're anticipating something that you don't want to be involved in. If they can make a bulletproof vest, then I don't see why they can't make a food-proof vest. It would give the vest an actual purpose. Wear it while you're eating, and if you drop food on yourself, it'll just slide right off because of your food-proof vest. Although then it would go on your pants. So maybe there needs to be an entire food-proof outfit. This has been Billy Mitchell's Rant, and I hope you enjoyed. Apparently today is the 20th anniversary of Harry Potter. While I'm not a huge fan, I have read all the books and seen all the movies. And I remember absolutely nothing except the first book. Apparently the first movie was 2.5 hours long. That is a long movie. The parts of the movie I can remember are the scenes on the train and the bathroom. The big fountain in the bathroom. That wizard school has a pretty nice bathroom, as opposed to real school bathrooms, which are not respected. It's easier to find toilet paper in the urinals than it is to find on the toilet paper roll. Not to mention that whole stealing soap dispensers thing. What was that all about? Come on, guys, you're better than this. Although, then again, what do you expect? It's the only room in the school that doesn't have a security camera. So, you can do whatever you want in there. The schools in Harry Potter don't have security cameras at all. They have something way worse. Ghosts. Yes, actual ghosts. Ghosts of former dead students wandering around the bathroom and the halls and the classrooms and stuff. I mean, how would you feel if you were in a stall, minding your own business, and then some ghost person comes out of the floor right in front of you and just starts a conversation? And the ghosts get away with it because they're ghosts. They aren't going to go to ghost court for invasion of privacy. Or maybe there was a ghost court in the movies. I don't remember. It's been a while. The other scene I said I remembered was the one on the train. And I'm not talking about the conversations between characters on the train. No, that's boring. I'm talking about the food on the train. The dining car. There are all sorts of inconvenient to eat magical candies on the train. Like there were living chocolate frogs that would hop away from you when you're trying to eat them, which, really, that would just make me feel bad for trying to eat them. They're just cute little frogs. What have they done to me? There was also this jelly bean that had a whole bunch of different flavors. There was like a bunch of weird flavors like carpet or like cat or something. Just a bunch of random crazy flavors. And those crazy jelly bean flavors actually inspired real jelly bean companies to try that gimmick of having crazy flavors mixed in with normal ones. And I remember I had one of these before, and the blue ones were either blueberry or toothpaste, which was a win-win because they both tasted good. Probably the most well-known snack that was served on that train ride was a thing called butter beer. Great idea, guys. Take two things that make people sick when they eat them, butter and beer, combine them together, and there, you got the perfect beverage. So yeah, that's all I remember of Harry Potter. That's all there is to be said. Snacks and bathrooms. This has been Billy Netcho's Rant, and I hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, a United States and Canada holiday in which we celebrate being thankful for things. Although in Canada, they celebrate it a few weeks earlier, so it already happened. I've been trying to come up with things that I'm thankful for, excluding the things that are obvious, like friends and nature, and some third obvious thing I haven't thought of yet. But hey, even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, you can still be thankful that it's almost December. December has all sorts of fun things, like eggnog. It sounds disgusting, but it's a beverage. They didn't even put two G's in nog to make it match egg. At that point, why not just call it egg? That would save some space in the dictionary. Instead of having a separate definition for eggnog, just add a variation of the word egg. Egg, comma, beverage. Snow is fun too. But the only bad thing about snow is that for there to be snow, it has to be cold. And cold can be uncomfortable. But you can't have snow without it being cold, so it really evens it out. This has been Billy Nacho's Rant, and I hope you enjoyed. Hello, welcome to Billy Nacho's Rant. It is getting cold. You know, like those snow globe things with the little town inside of a dome? You shake it up, and the white stuff, representing snow, it falls down because, I guess, it's too heavy to float at the surface and too small to drop like a stone. All the snow reminds me of a fun quirk that I discovered. It's a fun trick that involves a constantly generating clone like this snow. See, if you're watching this on Scratch, go to another tab right now and don't come back. Don't look at me. While in that second tab, open up a Scratch project and start playing it. Make sure the volume's not too loud though, so you can still hear me. I'm not sure if this trick works if you just go to an empty new tab and don't go to a new Scratch project, but just in case, go to a Scratch project that has stuff going on. Alright, if you've been on that other tab for long enough, which is about the time I've been talking, then when I say so, come back to this tab. Alright, you're going to switch back to the tab that I'm on in 3, 2, 1, now. Ta-da! A thick layer of snow has just fallen. You should have just seen way more snowflakes than there should naturally be. If you were looking at the top of the screen, that is. Otherwise, you might have to try this again. 2 snowflakes are generated every 0.2 seconds, making the amount you just saw impossible. But for some reason, going to another tab and playing another project and then coming back messes with Scratch's decision making of will it spawn snowflakes or will it not. If you don't believe me, rewatch this project without going to another tab. You won't see the amount of snow you just saw. I'm not fooling you. You could even try it while doing other things in the other tab. I know for sure that watching a YouTube video works, but who knows? So there you go. That's my magic trick to show you guys. I was going to do the saw the lady in half trick, but Jelly doesn't trust me enough. This has been Billy Nacho's Rant, and I hope you enjoyed. Alright, what's going on here?
I'd like to request a favor. You seem like a favorful kind of guy.
It's true, I am, but not to you. Not to the only person I know who does mean things on purpose.
Oh, yeah. I totally understand that. However, this favor I have in mind is not for me. For you see, this favor is for my friend behind me. I need a babysitter for him.
Okay. I'll look after your robot thing, but only if...
Thanks for cooperating. I'll just leave you two alone now.
What? No, get back here. I wasn't finished with my terms and conditions. You can't just dump your robot here and expect me to take care of it. Hello, Mr. Robot. What's your name? Ah, hi. Do you know what we do in the show? Yeah, that's right. I talk about stuff. What kind of stuff do you like to talk about? What does that mean in English? I can't understand what you're saying, man. If we can't communicate each other, how are we supposed to do a talk show? Would you prefer it if I just turn off the cameras right now? Okay, fine. This has been Billy Nacho's Rant, and, well, no it hasn't. This is the first episode of 2021. Therefore, it must be important. Whatever I discuss in the next few minutes has to be groundbreaking. This is a new year after all, a new era of this series. Yeah, I'm going to talk about toilets. This idea came to me earlier today when I was in the school bathroom. My school's toilets are pretty cool. There's a red sensor on the part where the ceramic bowl would normally be. The sensor determines if someone's sitting on the toilet, and if not, then it flushes. Seems like a good idea. It eliminates the need to press a button or flip a switch, which is probably not going to be cleaned very often. A real benefit for today's cleanliness requirement. However, while appreciating the school bathroom, I thought of some safety concerns. You could take any clip from this episode and I'd sound like a psychopath. What if while someone was in a stall, there was an intruder? Also, for this hypothetical scenario, let's say that the intruder enters from the side of the building that you're on. You need to get back to your classroom as soon as possible, but getting off the toilet would alert everyone to your location. And you definitely don't want to trigger the toilet in my school. For whatever reason, it requires the entire Pacific Ocean to flow through it before it can flush, which makes a lot of noise and alerts everyone on the northern hemisphere that you're in the stall. Oh, maybe that's why people don't like school bathrooms. Anyway, back to real life. When I was thinking of this scenario, I decided to try a solution. I put a wad of toilet paper in front of the sensor, then stood out of its line of sight. And what do you know? It worked. The sensor still thought that there was someone in front of it. With that simple solution in mind, I came up with more ingenuitive ways to abuse this. If you cut a hole in the wad and put a string around it, and then stood out of the bathroom and pulled on the string, then you would trigger the toilet. A remote detonation toilet. I'm still trying to come up with practical uses for this invention. So far I'm drawing a blank. However, if the Nobel Prizes are interested, I am available. This has been Billy Necho's Rant, and I hope you enjoyed. It's been so long since I said that. It feels so good. Hello, and welcome to Billy Necho's Rant. It's been a while since I've talked about something Scratch related. 3 months to be exact. So today I'd figured we'd talk about the music section of the Scratch sound library, because I think it's probably one of the most useful sections, as writing music is harder than making basic sound effects. I'm going to be going through all of them in order, so if you want to know what's next, you can just click See Inside and go to the music section, which for some reason is called Loops, which I guess kind of makes sense, because it loops, but I think it would make more sense to call it music. I like this one. It's very chill, and I can see it be used in a lot of comedy scenarios as just sort of a background track before something happens. That one was called Cave, and you can really see why. I wonder who wrote these songs. I'm kind of biased on this one, because I actually used it in an animation before, and I used it as elevator music, which I think is appropriate for its tone. I don't know what to say about this one. It's just piano music. That one was really short, so I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be looped over and over again. However, the last, half second is kind of silent, so it doesn't loop very well at all. 0 out of 10. And holy cow, I just realized how many of these there are. I'm going to be skipping the ones I don't have anything to say about. That one was called Drip Drop, and just like that other one, it's pretty short, so it's probably a loop. Well, obviously the entire category is called loops, but that extra drop at the end makes it loop poorly, so, again, requires some editing for maximum loopage. That one was called Drum Funky, and we're getting closer to an actual loop, so that's good. Oh yeah, that one was called Drum Jam, and finally, we have achieved loopage. Let's hope the rest of these loops can live up to Drum Jam's level of loopage. That one was called Drum Set, but it sounds more like a baby in the kitchen with pots and pans. That one was called Eggs, but why was it called Eggs? I don't know why, but that one makes me laugh. Alright, that one's just sad. But good. It's good sad music. Alright, I think we found my new favorite. I like the tone of this one. Also, that stick solo at the end. Wow. Alright, we found it. The most hilarious guitar riff in history. Play that after any joke, and it becomes 10 times better. That one was called Human Beatbox, but here, I can provide a squirrel beatbox. Huh, that's harder than it looks. That one really makes you feel like you're stepping on springs. Very springy. This one makes me want to go on a quest, which I can't do because there's still more songs to get through. Whoa, I did not expect that. This one's even sadder than the one literally titled Emotional. It reminds me of the end of Stephen King's The Mist. Very sad. Too short and doesn't loop. Meh. This one has good loopage, but it's pretty repetitive, so not really the best. This one's nice. It's computer music mixed with a bell sound. What more could you want? I hear this one way too often. Not a fan. Nice. And with that, we've covered most of the loops in the loop section. This has been Billy Metro's Rant, and I hope you... What the... who put a banana peel here? That's not funny.